Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke, with Jason Shear and the venerable Jacob Franklin behind the scenes right now. Here's Jacob right here. He forgot to actually disable that. That's what you get there, Jacob, for doing that. Hello, Shear. How are you?
What's going on, Mike?
All right, we got a lot to get to this show. I apologize. We had to boot Bruce Pascoe. I don't think Bruce was super upset about it, but Bruce will be back. Bruce will be back, but we got a lot to get to, obviously. We got to talk the Arizona budget. We've got to talk about Arizona basketball, Arizona football. We can make fun of the Mountain West Alliance, which is breaking right now. But first, Shear, we got to talk about the Arizona budget situation. Here's how essentially we got here. And Jacob Franklin, this is going to be a longer. It's not going to be a short. This is going to be one of those clips that will be longer than a minute. All right, here's exactly how we got here. Arizona essentially was offering a bunch of scholarships and financial aid to out-of-state kids that couldn't get into UC Santa Cruz, UC Davis, etc. That came back and got them. Then on top of that, you obviously took out a loan for the Arizona Athletic Department, which you're going to have to pay back. But these are two separate issues entirely. I keep seeing all these people on the internet saying, oh, Arizona's athletic department's in a $240 million crisis. No, they are totally different situations. Talked with somebody that it is his job to know, and he said under no circumstances will Arizona football or basketball be at all impacted by this, Jason Shearer.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is one of these examples of an article coming out that maybe doesn't say all the details and people just taking it and running with it and no one wanting to do their own research. And Robin says a quote behind the closed doors and everyone freaks out. I mean, at the end of the day, are there going to be some things around school, the university? Yeah, but there's ways to get around it without cutting athletics. And I think what people need to realize is this wasn't a loss. Like, they're not in the red $240 million. That's not what this is. This is, there's a budget that they have and they kind of misappropriated it, but it's not, oh crap, we now owe $250 million.
And these are two totally separate issues as well. Again, when it comes to Arizona football, Arizona basketball, they're very mindful of where Arizona is in the grand scheme of things. And again, I do not mean, as somebody that has multiple degrees from the U of A, I do not want to besmirch the U of A academic department because it's great. But I'm sorry. If it comes down to Arizona basketball and Arizona football or the biology department, which it won't, obviously, because they're two separate issues, Arizona football and Arizona basketball just brings in more than the biology department. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, look, in a perfect world, we all want to establish that the university and all the universities in the country are based off their education, their classic, and their majors and all that, and that's where they get the money from. It's just not true, though. Like, a lot of these programs and stuff are sustained off the money that the major athletics bring in. Usually it's football. And if you cut to football or you cut to basketball at Arizona, the reality is you're not cutting to just those sports. You're cutting to the entire university. Right. And again, like, there's ways around this. Like, Arizona owns a ton of land. You sell some land, you concessionize parking, stuff like that. There's ways around it without having to cut athletics.
This will also be you can also do the naming rights and a whole bunch of different things for the stadium, which I actually like that Arizona has not done, but we also got to move into the 21st century. Everybody's doing it at this point. You can make a lot of money doing that. Sheer, I'm okay with that. But again, Arizona football and Arizona basketball is at the apex that it's been for probably about 30 years right now. That's for you, Jacob Franklin. But and they're very mindful of that, and the community is very mindful of that. Again, please, you're not taking money out of the biology department to put it into athletics. It's not how any of this works.
Yeah, well, it's like the whole idea, like, coaches can't get extensions because of the budget. That completely different sources of money. If boosters come and they say, yeah, here's $5 billion a year, or whatever it is, they're not going to be like, oh, no, we can't accept that. Our biology department is,
Right.
it's look, the reality is, and I know you hate when I use this word, and I actually hate when I use this word.
You use it all the time.
Yeah, the optics are the only thing that matters here. Jedd Fisch is going to get an extension, and then the optics are going to say, oh, what about the teachers and blah, blah, blah. And that'll blow over in 48 hours. That's really the only concern that I have when you relate the two.
And honestly, we need to stop going to professors again. I do not mean this to besmirch, to get their take on what the athletic department should do. A lot of these professors, again, do not watch sports, do not like sports. Not all of them, but a lot of them do not like sports, or they tolerate it. That's why when Wilner and Canzano are going to get quotes from professors about the Pac-12 TV deal, well, lo and behold, they were really wrong about it because they don't know what's going on. The Star did the same thing. Grr.
Yeah, the Star has an article where they talk to a physics professor, and this is real simple for me. I don't go to the physics professor for athletics. Just like I don't go to Dave Hickey to ask him a physics question.
Right.
Like, it's like, I'm just not, I don't care. No offense. I don't care what a physics teacher or professor says that Arizona should do with the athletic department. Of course they don't care about athletics. They care about physics. They want that money. And I get it. And it makes sense to me. And I'm not, putting them down for that. But there's no value for me in knowing what a professor wants to do with the AD. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I think the biggest thing that happened too here is, and this is where I wish Arizona had pushed back a little bit, is this headline was a rotten headline that was put out there. Because everybody now thinks that, Arizona athletics is in a $240 million deficit. No, we will reiterate again, that is not the case here, Sheer. Arizona football, Arizona basketball, and the other sports are going to be just fine.
If I was Robbins, I would hold a press conference.
I agree.
Not long. I would hold a press conference and I would just explain and be like, hey, we screwed up. This is what it is. We are not at a $240 million deficit. That is not what this is at all. And let him speak. Let him take a couple questions, and then that's that. But, yeah, you're right. Like, everyone is assuming that it's a $240 million deficit. It's not. That's not what this is.
Congrats. Sheer, that's I would have timestamped this at 7:41. That's what this is. Jacob Franklin put this down as well. This is very good stuff. All right, I wanted to get that off my chest because all these Oregon State fans and all these Washington State fans are spiking the football over something that they're wrong about, something that generally happens with some of these people in these fan bases. Now, Sheer, do you want to talk about Arizona sports, or do you want to talk about the Mountain West Alliance that has been reported? Where would you like to go first, Sheer?
This is all the Mountain West stuff is all headed where we've been telling their fan bases it's headed for months, and they didn't believe us.
Right. All right. Well, look, that's called a tease right there, Sheer. But again, we're going to get to a lot of Arizona basketball, a lot of Arizona football. We're going to talk about Jedd Fisch and coaching and everything. But first, BetMGM. All right. Now, you might want to bet on where who's going to be ranked at the end of this year, Arizona or ASU. I would tell you to take Arizona, but that would not be a line you could get on BetMGM because they are smart people. Here's the deal. Put down $10 and you will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for details. Let's hear with the great Shane Diefenbach with the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
All right, and I was remiss on something. I messed up on this at the beginning. You got to become one of these PHNX diehards. Check out these shirts. Jacob Franklin, pull up the shirt, my friend. This shirt right here is fantastic. These things are going like hotcakes. These things are evaporating like Shear's hairs. Check it out. BTFD, new release. Go to PHNX and become a diehard today, my friend. A diehard today. I thought that was very good. All right, now Shear. Actually, let's talk. Let's make fun of Oregon State and Washington State in a little bit. Let's talk about Jedd Fisch. Arizona. This is a good situation that Arizona's in. They're going to have to give Jedd Fisch a raise. They are well aware of that. They are working on that. And honestly, that is a good thing because guess what we generally don't have happen here at Arizona football? After 3 years, a coach getting a pay raise because they don't deserve it because generally they stink.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Like you got to be, I mean, look, things happen in college football, right? Coaches leave, all that. But, Arizona's working on what will very likely be the biggest contract a football coach here has ever had.
You want to throw some numbers out? You might know some numbers.
Like $5 million a year around there. That's I mean, I haven't looked that's the biggest by far, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, and that shows a dedication, and that shows B that Arizona has hired a guy that is doing well enough to pay $5 million a year.
Yes, and he made a quote. I have not watched this podcast yet, but I will. Where he essentially said, I guess, and I'm paraphrasing because I've not watched it yet, and that's not a slight towards the podcast. I just haven't seen it, but it was put on Shear's board where he said that. By the way, you have your comments up, right, Shear, so you can see everything. We're light on comments right now. People start talking bad about Shear. Where he said 3 years isn't enough to really establish the culture. And this is what I've come back to time and time and time again with Jedd Fisch, is that, listen, Arizona is probably maybe not the destination job. I don't know. But Arizona is going to be a top 10 to 15 team next year. If Arizona is a top 10 to 15 team next year, Jedd Fisch can absolutely choose what high-profile top 10 to 15 job he wants there, Shear. He's not at that stage yet.
Yeah, and I'll say this. There's some things that Jedd Fisch believes could be better. Like, there's a reason why he mentions NIL quite a bit.
Yeah.
Arizona football's NIL could be better. Its fan support, selling out the stadium and all that could be better. With that being said, I've talked to people very close to Jedd, and they've told me that he is absolutely confident that he could build an elite program at Arizona. He'll need a little help with the NIL and stuff getting there, but he believes that in the Big 12 and moving forward, he could have Arizona as a team that competes for conference titles every year, that this is not a flash in the pan. Arizona has what it takes for him to be super successful. That's why, I posed a question the other day. People are talking about the UCLA job. In the next 5 years, when UCLA goes to the Big 10, is it that much better of a job than Arizona?
No, but you did. What was a disingenuous tweet there, Shear, that I've been meaning to call you out on. You mentioned some good teams, but how many bottom feeders are in the Big Ten? Rutgers, Minnesota, Northwestern. You can still win.
This is going to sound bad to my Big 12 people.
No, Big 12 people. I didn't say this. Shear said this.
You could say the same thing. There's some.
But it's more enjoyable
I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, there's 12 teams in the college football playoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say 3 from the Big 10 get in, right? Like, have you seen UCLA's schedule next year?
No, what is it? I hope they lose every game.
Michigan, Penn State,
Good.
LSU. They signed a deal with LSU and they're out of conference.
Nice.
I look at UCLA's schedule. They're a 4-win team next season.
Yeah. Dude, so let's talk. Well, all right, we're gonna talk at Jonathan Smith and UCLA here in a second. But let's look at some of the job openings that are likely to come open. UCLA, like you said, I think Arizona's a better job than UCLA going forward because here's the thing: Jedd Fisch has already got Arizona. I mean, let's be honest here. This dude is so far ahead of schedule that every time I complain about Gunnar Maldonado or Delora, it just looks stupid at this point because of what Jedd's doing, and rightfully so. Jedd Fisch is in his spot. I am sitting in my living room, but he's got a loaded roster next year, an absolutely loaded roster. Yes, you're losing Jordan Morgan, you're losing Jacob Cowing, as some people might put it, Michael Wiley, and Taylor Upshaw, Tanner McLaughlin. But man, you return the overwhelming percentage of the nucleus of this roster there, Shear.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. They're going to lose some guys, but there's some younger players that we've seen. They're going to have a nice class. We've shown that they had success with transfers. And this team is set up for next year. And part of Jedd has to think, when you compare the UCLA job, part of Jedd in his mind, he goes, man, can I really leave this team behind? Like, I put in all this work for 3 years. We were 1-11. I put a team that Arizona will be ranked in the preseason top 25 next year.
No, they'll be right. I'm going to go a step further, Sheer. So quit going the Anthony Gimino. I don't want to say anything outlandish. They're going to be preseason top 15 next year, Sheer.
Think about that. If they are.
You agree with me. You agree with me, by the way.
I think there's a good chance. Yeah, if everyone stays and all that. Arizona football will be a preseason, let's just call it top 20 team.
Fine.
Right? And if you're Jedd Fisch, you're going to leave that behind and go 4-8 in your first year.
Yeah.
It's just and here's the deal. If Arizona gets Fisch to 5, how much more is UCLA paying?
I agree.
$1 million more? Like, UCLA is not paying a coach $9 million. This isn't Texas A&M or something like that.
Oh, shoot. Let's see here. Jacob Franklin. They said this is show 3. Hold on. I got to look at something here. Oh, man, I think I'm redoing dude, I knew I was going to mess this one up. All right. Jacob, if you could do me a huge favor and send me those, I do apologize. Here's the deal with the reads. You guys probably don't care, but I care. So generally what happens is we miss a show during the week because I'm not allowed to go 7 days a week. I would go 7 days a week if I could. But what happens then is that I tried the show that I miss. I have to put in there. Jacob Franklin said, Mike, you're a moron. Just go show by show and don't miss anything. I just did it. Jacob Franklin, I apologize for you. If you could send me those, though, I would be very appreciative. Okay, now let's talk a little bit. Oh, these other jobs. Michigan State. Now, Michigan State, Sheer didn't know this. Michigan State has a lot of, under Mark D'Antonio, Michigan State had a lot of top 5 finishes. Or top 10 finishes. Sheer didn't know that. I had to educate him on that. But man, living in Lansing would stink. You're always going to be the second show in your entire state. I don't know, man. That doesn't do it for me.
Michigan State does nothing for me. That's why it just doesn't do anything. And again, we're going back to the Big Ten. If you're you might as well take UCLA.
Right. I agree with that. I would definitely take UCLA.
I mean, if you're Jedd, you're taking UCLA over Michigan State, probably. Let's be honest here, Mike. We both agree with this. We don't agree often on coaching things.
No,
there's one job that if it comes open, Arizona fans should be concerned about.
All right, that's called a tease right there. But you know what? Also, by the way, Jacob, I got the reads. I just needed to know what order. Thank you, Jacob Franklin. By the way, there's also something that we don't know in Michigan. Are there Circle K's in Michigan? Seriously, are there Circle K's in Michigan? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I'm reading this article by my guy Marcelo, who said Smith will be one sleeper for UCLA, Lane Kiffin.
If I'm Lane Kiffin, I don't want that job. I'm already. Jedd. Yeah, and Jedd. Okay, Circle K though, more important things than Jedd Fisch. Circle K. Look at Circle K.
Oh yeah, there's definitely Circle K's in Michigan.
Oh, right. Well, that doesn't help our case. Never mind. There are no Circle K's in Michigan. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. All right. Now, what else do I need to make up right here? Let's see here. All right. One more thing. DraftKings. And then we're going to get back to some real talk right here. DraftKings right here, my friends, for all of you naysayers out there. All right, here's the deal. NBA right now. Sheer is a New York Knicks fan. Sheer didn't even like professional sports until I met him. I brought him kicking and screaming, but Sheer watches the Knicks now. Be like Sheer. This week, new customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. All right, now here's where I get paid the big bucks. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to Connecticut. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort, licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles 21 Plus. I've been to this casino, by the way, by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Sheer's always asking me if you can get this bet in Ontario. You can't, Sheer. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms for eligibility and deposit restriction terms and responsible gaming. Okay. UCLA does nothing for me. Michigan State. Now, Florida is the job that we don't want to come open. I believe that Jedd Fisch would walk to Florida to take that job.
Yes, Jedd Fisch would just say, you know what? I'm going to walk. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks, whatever it is. And thank you. I'll take a pay cut. Look, Jedd Fisch is in the Steve Spurrier coaching tree. There isn't one dude alive that has been around Steve Spurrier that doesn't want the Florida job.
Is there any ex-coach that mentions Steve Spurrier more than Jedd Fisch?
No, absolutely not. And you know that this dude would tell so many Steve Spurrier stories at his interview and his press conference. And look, and we fully agree that Arizona's set up nicely and all that. Florida's Florida.
It is. It's a good job. It's a good job. It's not UCLA. It's not Michigan State. It's not ASU. It's none of that stuff. So do we worry about Michigan?
No. Well, I mean,
I think Harbaugh's gone, but I don't think Fisch is going to be that dude. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I don't think they would hire Fisch.
Because Michigan's one of those jobs. It's top 10 job. And that's what I keep telling people about with Jedd Fisch is that you can't name your school right now. You can name your school if you're a top 15, if you have a top 15 team. Penn State, James Franklin isn't going anywhere.
What about Matt Rule? Could Texas A&M steal Matt Rule away? You know the hot rumor with A&M though, right?
Who?
Dabo. That's the
Dabo to A&M.
That's the hot rumor. Jedd Fisch to Clemson.
Jedd Fisch to Clemson. It has been reported here first. Also, let's look at Joseph Schillinger had a very grotesque quote in here that I need to go back and find. Oh, the great Joseph Schillinger. Joseph, you're the man, but can we make Iowa versus Arizona? I don't know. No.
Yes. Here's why, Mike.
Oh, yuck.
Arizona would smack Iowa. And then we could finally shut people up about the Big Ten. You need Arizona in the Vegas Bowl because that means it's a Big Ten team. And that's all you want. That's what it's either Nebraska.
But it won't shut anybody up, though. They'll just say, well, it was a tough draw for Iowa. We know that they're actually better than Arizona, blah, blah, blah.
You got Iowa. You got Maryland's a possibility. You got Nebraska if they could somehow win one more game. My dream is Arizona, Nebraska in the Vegas Bowl. God help us all with that.
I'm still seeing some projections. By the way, Arizona would boat race Nebraska. I mean, that would be it. That game's over before it starts.
You went from Nebraska's going to win 7 games or win out to please God let Nebraska just win one more to make a bowl.
I know, but again, when you've got Heinrich Schutzstoffel or whatever his name is, a quarterback, it's not good.
I don't know who they're starting this week. We got to find out.
Chuba Purdy, maybe. No. Penn State. I don't worry about Jacob Franklin leaving Penn State. I think he's there. James Franklin. Sorry.
Jacob, will you be leaving Penn State?
Jacob, watch this. This is a way to bring Jacob Franklin in. Jacob Franklin, would you leave Penn State to come coach? To go to the NFL. All right. Now, Arizona, Utah. Enough of the sillies here. Arizona, Utah. This is going to be a good game because Utah is much different offensively than they were 2 or 3 weeks into the season, where I thought Arizona could absolutely destroy Utah. It's going to be a good game. It's a pick'em game for a reason. It also shows me too that Vegas is caught up to Arizona.
Yeah, I have no feel for this game. I think this is going to be a really good football game. I don't know who I would give the edge. Utah's offense looked awesome in the first half against Washington and literally didn't score in the second half. When you look at their schedule, they kind of feel similar to UCLA. Mm-hmm. They've beaten the bad teams on their schedule and they've lost to the good ones, and they're on the road and all that. But the most exciting part is we're talking about a very important football game towards the end of November.
Does Arizona, let me ask you this. Does Arizona, if they win this game, Arizona check in around 15 in the polls then? I'd have to assume, no?
Here's where it gets crazy. Let's say Oregon State loses to Washington and Arizona wins. Does Arizona jump to 11 in the college football playoff poll?
Now, is there any possibility that Arizona gets into the college football playoffs, my friends?
No, but there is a possibility they get in that top 11.
At that point, any game on, my friends, game on. The Fiesta Bowl. Arizona goes to the Fiesta Bowl. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that? Oh, and it's in Phoenix. Oh, Jacob Franklin, you better hope that one doesn't happen. No, but I think this is a pick'em game. Isn't? No, you know what? Screw that. I'm back in the A. I'm going. Listen, I told Shear from day one that Noah Fifita should be the starter. Shear has finally come around to this. I'm riding this Noah Fifita one until it falls off the tracks there, and it ain't falling off the tracks.
I will say that how crazy does it get if Arizona wins on Saturday?
At that point, because then you should, again, I know it's a rivalry game, all that rolling eye emoji. You should still smoke ASU. They suck. Sorry, Jacob. But at that point, you're probably going to be 9-3. You're probably going to start hovering around that 10 to 15 range at that point, and nobody wants any part of the A at that point.
And the good thing is Arizona's got a day game on Saturday, and I think the Washington-Oregon State game is at night. So if Arizona somehow wins on Saturday, that becomes like a massive game.
Who do we dislike more at this point now? Oregon State fans or Washington State? Not all of them. There are some good ones, but
I feel like Oregon State fans are mean.
Yeah,
they're mean. You know what else is mean? SMU fans.
I don't know that they're. I haven't had any. I still haven't seen them. To me, it's like Bigfoot.
Oh, they're really mean to me. But Oregon State fans are mean. Friday night's a big game too for Washington State. Tomorrow night. Who do they play? They got Colorado, loser eliminated from bowl contention.
Oh, I'm rooting for Colorado all day on that, man. I'm
if Colorado wins, though, Arizona's going to be on the Pac-12 network. But I'm still rooting for Colorado.
I'm still rooting for Colorado, dude. I'll watch anything on the Pac-12 network as long as Washington State. What I also will say is that with Washington State fans, though, they go away. They're not nearly as persistent. I give Oregon State fans this. They believe all the nonsense, and I got to give them credit for that. They remind me of myself a little bit.
Yeah. It's Washington State fans disappeared after the loss.
Didn't hear anything from them.
It was a little disappointment. Oregon State fans are just mean.
And on top of that, these two, I love how they think that they're, well, first of all right, let's make fun of them. Then we're going to get to some Arizona basketball. Adama Bal, by the way. I'm going to spike the basketball in Adama Bal. So they've essentially come into agreement, according to Ross Dellinger, with a Mountain West pack. This is exactly what we've been saying from day one, where they're going to play a Mountain West schedule, but somehow they're not eligible to play against other teams, or they're not eligible to play in their own championship game.
It's I'm actually, our Oregon State site just reported that that's not completely accurate. I almost believe them just because what's the benefit to all parties involved? Like, why would Oregon State sign off on not playing a conference championship game? And if you're the Mountain West, why would you ever? What does that do for you?
That's a good point, but I still hope it's true.
Did you see the article on Yahoo last week? They actually approached the Sun Belt.
Oh, no, I didn't see the Sun Belt.
I swear to God, the Sun Belt. And the Sun Belt said no. Because it didn't do anything for them.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the thing, and this is why we enjoy poking fun at our Oregon State friends, or in Washington State friends. They don't really bring anything to the table. Nobody cares. That's why, again, I mean, Big 12 had no interest in either one of these schools. You can have your $240 million. Nobody wants you.
I don't really get the whole anger. And I know it sounds, and I'm sure Oregon State fans and Washington State fans are thinking it's crazy. At the end of the day, these schools, you do what's best for yourself. You don't care about Washington State and Oregon State. That's not your priority. Your priority is your own university.
They're not the traitorous 10, my friends. They just did what you would have done if you were in that situation.
That's sure Oregon State and Washington State would have said, you know what? We're not going to the Big 12. We care too much about the other schools. Give me a break.
Give me a break. All right, now let's talk some Arizona basketball here. Let's get back on track. Look, this is the thing with Shear. He's so schizophrenic. He's all over the place with him. You can't control this guy. It's like Jamino. Always out of focus, always doing something else. But first, Gila Rivers Resorts and Casinos. Look at Shear right there. She always looks like Shear's coming at you from Palm Springs, which he's going to be at next week, by the way. We will get to that. But if you want to live like Shear, you want to be the high riser, go to Gila Rivers Resorts and Casino. Play fun games online for a chance to win I almost said $100 million. $1 million in cash. Win up to $100,000 cash. 21 and over only, my friends. Visit Gila River or Gila $1,000,000showdown.com to get in on the action. For more information on Gila River Resorts and Casinos and all they have to offer, head to play at Gila.com. Arizona basketball is ranked 3. Oh, by the way, there's a guy that always comments on our YouTube videos where he says, Mike, stop saying that Sheer actually likes Jamino. We know this already. That's part of the joke, dude. But Arizona basketball. We had to boot Bruce, but Arizona.
Should we tell our Bruce story?
Yeah, you do it. You do it better. You do it better than me on this one. Go ahead.
So we got a little group text with Bruce. We talked to Bruce a little bit, and we were talking to him about his top 25 rankings. What does he have, Arizona?
Wasn't it 6?
It was like 6.
6 or 5. One of the two.
And I asked him about it, and he's like, well, Tennessee had a really good win. Yeah, Tennessee ahead of Arizona, and Tennessee had a really good win at Wisconsin. And I was like, Bruce, winning against Wisconsin is like winning at Stanford. No one cares. And he goes, well, Stanford's good. And then 24 hours later, Wisconsin and Stanford lose by like 20. Stanford lost to Santa Clara, and Wisconsin lost by like 18 to Providence. Big dub for us.
Big dub for us. And you notice how Bruce didn't respond to us either.
Yeah, he knows.
Bruce left those DMs on red. Bruce, we see what you got right there.
Arizona should be the number 1 team in the country based on how I do. And I'm not saying they're literally.
They should. You're right.
Based on my criteria, there is no better win in college basketball that Arizona has. Arizona should be number 1 in the country.
And is there any team also that looks more impressive right now than Arizona that checks off? Now, listen, if you want to put Kansas at number 1, I'm all right with that. Kansas. Big shout out to our hashtag Big 12 friends. But Kansas is really the only one that I can see. The only one that I can see. I don't. And again, Purdue. All of Michigan State, no thanks. All these Big Ten frauds, no. Nobody checks off as many boxes, in my opinion, as Arizona.
I need Arizona to whoop Michigan State. I need that to happen.
Man, and Michigan State looked putrid.
Which means they're going to hit like 15 threes against Arizona.
Yeah, but again, we got a lot of Big Ten action here. But I will say this. Big Ten people out there, even if you beat Arizona, your time comes when all 13 teams lose in the first round. This happens every single year. Oh, yeah, Brad Rich. Tommy got saucy with Bruce the other day.
He did.
Yeah.
He really did.
Because I was on the post game and you messaged me immediately.
I said, Bruce fight. Bruce and Tommy are fighting.
Yeah, Bruce, they are fighting. I like how he says, yeah. Bruce asked him if he's had talks with Robbins about the budget situation. You said, I ain't telling you that, and then walks right out. Yeah, you should check it out. It's actually funny. All right, Kilroy. Oh, can't wait. I think Arizona match. Sure, turn that off. Be a professional.
I'm sorry.
David Stiff. I can't wait for the Purdue game. Agree with you. Outside of Zach Edey, although you think that Umar Ballo has the advantage over Zach Edey, Arizona's better at every single position. I love how Arizona matches up in that game.
I will say, though, that's going to be a tough game because of location.
For sure.
Who plays Gonzaga on Monday? Very curious about that game.
Aaron Torres is skeptical on Gonzaga without Tommy Lloyd.
I am as well. That game will be good, and then they face Alabama right before they face Arizona.
Yeah, that's going to be Alabama's going to be an interesting one. But again, yes, like you said, I expect Arizona to beat Michigan State. Do you want to go on record right now and say because I don't even know if we're going to. Yeah. Are you back in the A against Purdue?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I got a month. That's a tough. The location's tough, man. Flying across the country in ice cold weather, and it's tough.
Yeah, but if you are flying across the country, you should be wearing Shady Rays, though. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And one more read. We got to talk Adama Bal here because I was right on Adama Bal. I knew that he was good. FOCO. FOCO, my friends. FOCO always has your back for Arizona sports, and they can get yours too. Get the best gear around by visiting FOCO.com and use code PHNX for all non-presale items. Use the code PHNX for 10% off. The best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. Adama Bal. I wanted Arizona to do what they did with Dylan Anderson and redshirt Adama Bal. I thought Adama Bal could play. I was right. Sherry's killing it at Santa Clara.
Yeah, that's a good fit for him. If you watch highlights go watch the Stanford highlights, he doesn't use one ball screen. Arizona uses a lot more ball screens. And the thing with him wasn't necessarily his scoring. He doesn't really do anything else. Like, he's talented.
He's Kirk Kaprizov.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but Kirk could at least pass. Adama's very talented, but it wasn't a good fit offensively. He doesn't know how to use the ball screen offense and all that. Santa Clara, it's just, he does him, and that's that. And he looked awesome. He was hitting step back threes. And the bigger thing I took away from that is Stanford sucks.
Could he be an NBA player?
It's tough. I mean, I guess he could. Maybe.
That would be awesome if Herb Sendek has his third straight wing that's a first-round pick. Adama Bal, we're all backing you right here. We're back in the A. We're back in Adama Bal. When it comes to the Pac-12 this season, though, I think Arizona's going to run roughshod over the Pac-12. I think UCLA is terrible. They're even worse, I think, than now, listen, you're a big Dylan Andrews and Will McClendon fan. I get that, but I don't quite get that. That team does absolutely nothing for me, Sheer.
No, I think USC is probably the only team when they're healthy. I know people are excited that they lost to Irvine, but look, they lost to Irvine without Boogie Ellis and Kobe Johnson. You're still down 2 starters, arguably, your second best and third best starters. Irvine's not a bad team. I think USC has looked pretty good. Oregon, I'm curious, when they face a real team, what they look like. But UCLA
play next.
I'm actually looking at their schedule. They don't play a real team like all season.
Okay.
So Michigan. They play Michigan on December 2nd.
All right. That's going to be a big game for them. But I agree with you. I mean, yes, USC I think is much better than that game indicates. Again, Boogie Ellis is your best player. Now, Isaiah Collier. Do you want to say that you were wrong on Isaiah Collier, the great point guard?
Yeah, I wasn't wrong. I'm right. I said he's not as good of a scorer as people think he is.
Were you wrong on that? He's averaging like 20. He's averaging like 20 a game, dude.
He was like 6 of 17 last game, dude.
But he's averaging like 20 a game. Come on.
If you take 20 shots to score 20 points, are you really that good?
Would you rather have Kylan Boswell or Isaiah Collier?
Kylan Boswell.
I am. I'm backing Kylan Boswell as well. Boswell has really been impressive so far this year. Also, I think it goes to show, too, that if you can get out of that Tad Boyle type nonsense and get back with the Tommy gun, Boswell's got a little bit of a pep to his step as well. He's looked very good.
I'm going to read you 3 numbers, all right? 6, 4, and 7. 6, 4, 7. Isaiah Collier's turnovers through 3 games.
Oh, but that's USC. They embrace turnovers.
6 turnovers a game.
Hey, well, you know what? If that was Jaden DeLaura doing that, Jedd Fisch would say, "Well, turnovers are part of the game. Can't really
more interceptions than Jaden DeLaura threw against Mississippi State." I win.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. We got to talk a little bit about Caleb Love now. Now, listen. We can definitely see that Caleb Love is trying to fight the urge to just go full Caleb Love. You can tell it's a battle of good and evil with Caleb Love, but you can tell he's very much trying, Sheer. This is what I was trying to tell you about him. And he's money. I think when the game's on the line, I'll totally take him with the ball. Sheer, you were wrong. I was right again.
Look, I like Caleb Love. The end of the Duke game was awesome. I'm a big fan of him wanting the ball. I think he's very valuable. But like you said, there's moments, right? We saw it against Duke where he's like, I'm going to take this game over. We even saw it last game where his first 3 shots were just awful. He's like, why are you shooting that? And then he calmed down. So it's a work in progress. I think he'll be fine. Really. He's, and I am impressed by the way that he's handled everything. But you can still see there's still a little, I'm going to shoot this no matter what vibe like that comes out of him once in a while.
Has Arizona had it? Well, oh, by the way, Jamal Baker's not still in college.
No, is he?
No, TLN. There's no way. TLN just said that he thinks.
Mike.
No.
He is at New Mexico. He is averaging about 20 minutes a game, and he is terrible. But he is indeed. I'm tweeting this.
This is his 7th. This is his 7th year, correct?
I will hold on. Let me count his.
Holy moly, is that impressive?
1, 2, 3, 4. So this is his 6th year of playing, but he redshirted that 1 year.
So this is his 7th year of college.
Well, according to this, it's his 6th year of college.
Yeah, that sounds like crap.
4 different schools.
4 different schools. So he started at Kentucky, was at Kentucky for a year. Then
Yeah.
he came, was he here 1 or 2 years?
2 years at Arizona.
That's 3.
2 years at Fresno.
That's 5.
And now he's at New Mexico.
Oh, it's only 6. He's a rookie. He's a youngster. Yeah, all right, fair enough. You know, you do you, Jamal Baker. By the way, Jamal Baker, can you imagine when he was showing up to those Kentucky practices, how out of place he must have looked?
Good Lord.
Yeah, not good. Not good. But Caleb up cage. Fili B. I can't believe I'm asking this question, but this is a question that needs to be asked. I asked this, is Fili B good?
No. No.
I tried.
He's a good passer. Absolutely a good passer. But everything else, he can't defend a lick.
Mm-hmm. But
I don't know if he's a negative. How about that? I don't know if he's a super negative.
Which is way better than we ever thought.
Right. I don't think he's very good, but I don't think he's a super negative.
Does Fili B, during his time at the U of A, ever get into the rotation, play meaningful minutes?
No.
Yeah. You know who does, though? And this is five of a kind media right now.
Conrad Martinez.
Well, no, we're going to talk KJ Lewis in a second. Or no, not in a second, right now. In 51 minutes of play, KJ Lewis has 0 turnovers. Sheer, I've been beating you over the head. This will be the last one, though. This was an awful call.
I like KJ. I've never disliked KJ.
All right.
I just said I understood his ranking at the time. Clearly, he's a very good basketball player. There's still some things you got to work on. He fouls a little bit too much, and but he's good.
He should have been a 5-star.
Sure, why not? I don't care. I don't do those rankings.
Oh, Philly. Oh, by the way, how many teams? This is a great question right here. This is why we rely on you people, because then I can go away from my show notes, which generally suck, and go straight to you guys. Kilroy, how many teams does Philly start for in the pack?
None. Oregon State.
Oh, come on. He starts at Oregon State.
Does he start at Cal? Probably not.
Yeah, but he gets better question.
He's in rotation.
Better question. Who is he in the rotation? What teams is he in the rotation?
Cal, ASU, I think he can get in the rotation. Stanford likes white guys a lot, so he probably would play there.
Right.
Oregon, I would say half.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hey, would Fili B play at UCLA?
Dude, their guards are so bad.
I'm saying Will McClendon plays.
I don't think he would because he doesn't defend.
Who's better, Will McClendon or Fili B?
You know how I feel about Will McClendon and Dylan Andrews. I think that's the worst backcourt in the Pac-12.
Fili B starting point guard at UCLA. That was very funny, Robert Madrill. Oh, by the way, Brad Rich, the great Brad Rich. Mike Luke was crazy high on KJ. Turns out he was right. Better Mike Luke call, KJ Lewis or Noah Fifita?
Oh, come on. Are either of them that difficult?
What's that?
You said a 4-star player would be good.
No, I said he should have been a 5-star. He's a fringe 100 guy. Or Noah Fifita. Is Noah Fifita the better call?
Probably.
Okay. Now, listen, I obviously needed attention on this show. I needed to feel better about myself. That's why I brought Sheer down to bring myself up. But we're not even signing off yet. But Sheer, where can they find you doing your work, my friends?
WildcatAuthority.com, Wildcat Scoop Podcast with Shelby, and at Jason Sheer on Twitter.
All right. Now, before we got to talk Paulius Morauskas. By the way, Kilroy, hey, that's actually an interesting question. Sheer, you should go back and look at this. Who's the best QB from the 2022 class? Kilroy, aka Lithium on the boards. Very good question, my friend. By the way, that leather jacket you wore at Bob Dobbs, fantastic. Wear it out more often, my friend. Go ahead.
2022 class?
Yeah. Who are the best quarterbacks?
All right, I'm going to look it up. Quarterbacks.
I'm telling you, he's got to be at the top 5.
Drew Allar. He's starting at Penn State, but
I'll take Noah.
Dude, this list sucks. Cade Klubnik was 2.
He sucks.
Malik Murphy, Nick Evers, AJ, a lot. Dude.
Is he the best quarterback in the 2022 class? I'm tweeting that. I will steal your thunder.
I'm looking at this list. You know what Noah was ranked?
What?
40th.
Yeah, well, blame you guys on that one, not me. I'm tweeting this right now. Serious question. Is Noah Fifita the best QB?
He might be.
I think
Ty
he is.
Simpson doesn't play. Devin Brown doesn't play. Gunnar Stockton doesn't play. Walker Howard. Nick Evers, does he play yet?
No, I don't think so.
Nick Evers is on Wisconsin. He already transferred. No, he doesn't.
And if he's at Wisconsin, serious question. Is Noah Fifita the best QB from the 2022 class? Back the A. Boom. That's going to go viral. That's big. That's big time.
Peyton Hauser's pretty good for Michigan State, but he's not as good as Noah. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know that there's anybody better than Noah.
I actually think, looking at these numbers, first of all, a lot of these guys aren't even playing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say that Noah. I mean, I'd have to look into it, but
should you guys have had Noah as a 5-star?
Sure, yeah, why not? I don't care.
All right, that's when Sheer doesn't want to put up with anything. By the way, Brian Baxter, question about NIL. Dave put this out. Can you touch a little bit on it? Everybody knows about, but it was handled like nonprofits. How much of your dollar goes direct? That is a great question.
It is a good question. I've wondered that as well.
I don't know that. That is a great, great question right there. I will ask right there. Kilroy, that is a great question as well. Many good questions. Brian Baxter, I totally get it. I don't want to donate if 50% goes to administration costs and 50 to the team. I get that one.
Mike, is Richard Torres still in Nebraska?
No, I think he's at UT San Antonio.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this list. I'm already down to 50. Yes, I will say it right now. Noah Fifita is the best quarterback in this.
By the way, we had Aaron Torres. We had Aaron Torres, that dweeb on. What does he know about Arizona athletics? And let's see here. Aaron Torres said, I told him, I said, dude, you should get Les Fifita and Noah Fifita on your show. I said it would do numbers, and he said, why should I really do that? And I said, yeah, don't. I said, you should. And he's like, oh, I don't know. You could tell that he really didn't want to do it. His loss, not mine. Oh, one other one. We got Desert Financial Credit Union. I already knew this one, but we'll put it out there again. Have I told you about Desert Financial Credit Union, Sheer?
Please tell me again, Mike.
All right. Now, you might be like Sheer, bringing in all the big bucks. Your national image exploded during realignment when you're reporting the facts and nobody else is really getting that. And you might need a place to store some of your money. You need to go to a place where they take care of their people. Desert Financial Credit Union. When you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Noah Fifita should be investing in Desert Financial Credit Union because of all the NIL that he should get. By the way, that's a great question, Brian. I will find that one out. I am curious if that is tax-free or not. All right. Let's see here. Like little brothers at the children's. Sheer, we've been called married grandparents in the comments right here. Where is this? Right. Let's see. Dave Hickey. No, this is not fair. This is not fair. Yes. They messed. They kept someone. That's not fair.
I'm not a big Hickey guy, as you know. I've grown a little bit more fond of him, but that's not accurate in the slightest.
Yes. Oh, Victorious Miller committed to Oregon.
Yeah.
Make him say,
Want his number? You wanted the number to do the article?
Nah, I don't want to do it. Fool one the time. I don't want that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong here. First of all, Hickey, yes, the Sumlin hire was a disaster. We all get that. Guess what Dave Hickey also did? He hired Sean Miller. He hired Tommy Lloyd, and he hired Jedd Fisch. Those have been the two best hires the athletic department has seen in quite a while, my friend. You are wrong right there. You are wrong.
Yes, and also Andres is right. It is not tax-free.
It's not tax-free? Well, that kind of that's
it has to have 501c3 status. If not, then it's not tax deductible or anything.
TLN is Belmont a solid team? I should know this.
It is the second best team that Arizona has faced this year. It is super small. They get out in transition and they don't rebound. Arizona's like the worst possible matchup for them.
Yeah. Andre Veras, my friend, Andre Veras. Good stuff. Didn't Robbins? No. Oh, you jerk. I'm taking that one down. No, I didn't like that one at all. No, I was excited there for a second. That is not true. Here's the deal with that. A lot of people, and Jacob Franklin, give us a couple more minutes and we'll sign off. But here's the deal. Dave Hickey was far more involved with Tommy Lloyd than many people think, including probably Scheer with casting aspersions. He's very close with Don Munson from, they actually grew up together. Leon Rice is a close friend. He was at Oregon. He's known about Tommy Lloyd for quite a while. Scheer, this is true. Listen, Fisch is the majority hire for President Robbins. Dave Hickey gets credit for Tommy Lloyd. I don't care what you say.
Sure. I like how you say Dave Hickey discovered Tommy Lloyd, basically, though.
No, I didn't say he discovered him. I said that he knew him very, very well, and he was admiring him.
You know what? This Huntsy guy, I think he's a plant. I think he's an ASU plant. Look at that last comment.
He as soon as leaves for one
that's
of
the not an Arizona comment.
Yeah, that's a Jacob Franklin behind the scenes right there. Yeah. All right. Who can drink more, Sumlin or Huggins? See, I don't want Sumlin's is the sloppy one. Sumlin is the dude that you always hear about. He's under the table or he's hitting on the stewardess or the bartender. People like Kevin O'Neill, people like maybe Bob Huggins. You don't hear those. Now, granted, they're getting DUIs, but you don't hear about that. Sumlin is the sloppy drunk. That's the difference for me.
Yes. Sumlin is a mess. There it is.
All right. Now, one last question, and we're signing off. Paulius Morauskas. This dude can play. He plays 6 minutes, and he gets 19 rebounds each time he plays. Not sure he's going to play a lot this year, but he's definitely playing next year, Scheer.
Yeah, he's fine. He's going to be good. It's just a matter of, again, it always ask yourself, who does this guy take minutes from? And Morauskas, who does he take minutes from? He's going to be fine. Not worried about him at all.
All right. We appreciate all of you. I have many good Kevin O'Neill stories as well. Chef Duarte, but that will be for another day. All right. Now go PHNX. Put that shirt back up, Jacob Franklin. We need this shirt to go like hotcakes. All right, there you go. BTFD, new release. Check it out. Go to gophnx.com, my friends. And all right, Skier, one last time, where can they find you?
WildcatAuthority.com, Wildcat Scoop Podcast with Shelby, and at Jason Scheer on Twitter.
All right. On that note, we are signing off. Huntsy, no more ASU infiltrators on the AZ Wildcats podcast. But for the great Jason Scheer, actually, no, you're not the great Jason Scheer. For the okay Jason Scheer, the great Jacob Franklin, I am merely Mike Luke. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.